Intro. Hi, I'm Mary Gunn. Welcome to Fun University. Hello, I'm Mary Gunn. I'm Mary Gunn Fun, founder and head professor of Fun University. Welcome to Fundamentals Lab number 83, where we take a parameter, actually two tonight, from Craft Roulette number 83, our sister channel, and dissect it, take it apart, break it down, and then build it back up so that you can make it yourself and feel confident in your card making when the parameters, when that darn wheel goes spinning and you are worried about what it's going to land on. You don't have to worry because we are going to get you through this right here on Fun University. Welcome, welcome. This is, I don't know, I just think I live and breathe cards sometimes. But tonight I'm going to talk about, it was any four colors was one of the parameters, so I'm going to talk about that just a little bit. Going to do an explosion card because they're fun, and an explosion cards, actually two, and a pinwheel or windmill or something like that because they're very fun and they really are easy. And then stick around to the end because I have one card that has 10, count them 10, fun folds on it. And I didn't even exhaust how many fun folds you can make. I just got overexcited. All right, let's go down. Thank you so much for being here. I see you guys, Deborah and Catherine, Karen and Tina and Lee. I need to send you a card. And Ashley and Luna and 5K. It's great to see you guys. Let's get started. All right. So any four colors. That's, I'm going to close my door because I think my husband may be mowing or something. I don't know. I can hear it. Maybe you can't. All right. Any four colors. Let's make this a simple lesson. Any four colors, look, using a color wheel. If you look right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, look at those four colors. They look good together. That's a simple way to find any four colors. Just find four in a row. Twist it a little bit. They look good together. They may not be my favorite, but they look good together. Here's another one. They look good together. Or you can move one out. And this, they all look fine together. They play nicely. I don't like hard things. I'm not that smart. Okay, here's one. Red, violet. Red, orange, and orange. Those look great together. Then if you look on your color wheel, which I think many of you are now getting, there is this thing right here, tetrad. And you can find out four, there I go with my John Travolta counting again. Four colors that work good together, like yellow, green, blue, violet. See how it is right there? Yellow, green, blue, violet, red, violet, and yellow, orange. So it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be at all mystical at all. There's actually another tetrad behind there. So you can just get that old color wheel out. Find four in a row if that makes it, if that looks good to you, if those are the colors that you have handy, they look like they're going to work for your theme, for your cards that you like, for your projects, for your products that you have. Look how fun it is. For instance, okay, I don't even know if I did that on here. This is the 10 fold card right here. And looks like we have, I may not have done it here, but let's see if I did. Looks like we have blue, check. Blue, green, kind of a green, blue, green, really green, blue, green. Green, so these guys are all kind of together. A yellow green in this, yes, and a yellow. Well, by George and goodness gracious, pretty much happened. There is a little bit of a red violet in there. But if you go with a paper too, go with a paper. It's an easy way to figure out what kind of colors. So those are my best tips. Check your color wheel for the thing four in a row, for a tetrad, or for some colors that you find in a paper. 3 tips right like that. Oh, you're up there getting your scones already. That a girl, that a girl. An explosion card. We saw a couple explosion cards, which are so much fun, in the gallery this time. If you don't know where the gallery is, it is under craftroulette.live. This one is episode 83. with Carrie Rhodes, and you just click on that episode, click on the gallery, and you will see, oh my gosh, 80? Was it 80? Something like that, cards. And some of them were explosion cards. What an explosion card is, don't be afraid, and I don't have to check it and if I'm at the airport or at the post office, they're not going to worry. But it opens up into this pretty fun little diamond thing. And I made him I made him a little dog house for instance. For this is it was a dog's life was our little theme this month too, or this week too. So there it is. That's an explosion card. They're really very simple. This is a square one, and then inside you will also find a square, but I covered this bottom part. This is actually just comes to here. But I covered the bottom part so that I could make a house out of it, or a dog house, or some other shape. But you can see it up here. It's just another square. So it's a set of 4 squares. 2 of them have diagonal cuts, and the other 2 are just plain. And I'm going to show you how to do it. But they're fun. I mean, they're cute and they're fun. So you don't have to have real primary type things. You can have a real fancy one too. And this one opens up and says, "Be mine." And again, I made this into home plate, so to speak, if you like baseball. This one looks more like a house out frame or home plate. And then you've got the 2 that have the diagonal right across there, and then 2 that are just squares. So let's figure out if you've never made these before. Let's make one. Actually, we're going to take it a little farther than a card. I forgot I was going to do that. We're going to take, I'll give you these numbers because I wasn't planning on making this and I forgot. So the inside square is, drum roll, 8 1/4. Is that right? Yeah, 8 1/4. And the outside square is 4 1/4. 4 1/4. Yep. Okay, we'll make one. That one's not big enough, so hang on. 8 1/4 square. You always have to have a square, I think. I don't think you can make it with any other shape, but maybe somebody knows. But I don't think I can. Let's just say it that way. I know I can't. Okay. So is that going to be the right size? No, it's not at all the right size. What was I thinking? Now, how can that be? You know, goodness sakes, this one's falling apart. Okay, that wasn't my plan. I'm going to come back to it. Never mind. I'm going to do something else here that I planned. We're going to have 3 of these little squares, all right? I know what these are. These are 5 1/4. 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. They're going to close up into something pretty small. So here I've already scored this one. Can't see that side. If you want a white side, that's okay, but you can use some pretty papers. And here's another one. I wouldn't use something with a real pattern, but I did. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world. So we've got 2 squares here. We have 4 squares, but these 2 are folded just like that. So here we go. Let's go ahead and fold the triangle first. I know that guy's around. There he is. And then we can just do edge to edge. And you should get a little intersection in the middle where all of the lines meet. So there we go. We've got simple square, 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 and then diagonal, diagonal. We can do it the other way too. It doesn't make it right or wrong because it's simple. Unlike trying to figure out something that you weren't planning on doing. That's what I do on Craft Roulette. I do something I wasn't planning on doing. I should stick to something simple. Here, give myself a break. Okay, so now I have 4 squares, correct? See it? Yep, yep, yep. And then we'll go ahead and do the one corner to corner. Just one. Other corner to corner need not apply. I did go ahead and do some edging on the edges. I didn't do the inside. Okay, now the deal with this is we're going to make a little fold out. Sounds harder than I should be able to do tonight, but we're going to do it. Let's see. And the trick of this one is, if you do it this way, you can think mountain folds, they need to be folding in. If they fold out, they're going to have wings. I guess if you wanted to make it like a, ooh, you know, you could make a, I don't know what this one would be called. But I think maybe a Terminator. Anyway, but if you have these little diagonal cut or squares, you need to have them go in so that they surprise you. So on this, we're going to make 3 of them in a row like this. Like so. I'm going to open up my one so I don't mess up. Let me show you. I was going to save this till the end. Here's this cute little book. You open it up, and this really fun thing opens up. All right. So we've got the up and, or the diagonal, or the corner to corner, mountain fold, corner to corner, valley fold, corner to corner, mountain fold. All right. So we can just flip these guys around. There's corner to corner, mountain fold, corner to corner, valley fold, and corner to corner, what did I say? Mountain fold. And then you just connect them right here on this flat square right here, the plain square. So if you've got these guys going the opposite way of the outside too, or every other one, because you can make them really long, you can just keep going and going and going until you have this hilarious little book that is like an accordion. Okay, let me see if I can get this on here. This is a really hard pattern to see. Smart move. Oh, that's pretty good. Won't be able to tell on a galloping horse. This would be probably a good time also to use some liquid glue with it. But, nah. Okay. So we have the outside. We have the outside like this. It takes a little bit of training, but then eventually we will get it. These guys. Okay, how are we doing here? These are going out and in. Am I doing this all goofy? Why is this so goofy? This one's going in and out. This one's going, how does this go? It goes back. Okay, the middle, because it's valley, goes in. That's right. That's right. It's working. Oh my gosh, it works after all these years. Same thing. It's really awful. Okay, you're going to fold in, you little stinkers. Okay, I call it a night. Let's do it this side. This worked in rehearsal. Okay. This comes in. Okay, everybody, just turn around. Just turn around. Quit looking at me. You're coming in too. That's it. I am so lame. There we go. I was just working too hard against myself. I will never look at the chat though tonight because, oh, there we go. You're folding under. You're folding in. There we go. There we go. Should I dare? Do I dare? Yes, it worked. It worked. And then it just folds back in. Now, the thing on this is, don't ever do this on a live show. The other thing on this is that you really can't do a book a book one piece behind it. So what generally I have always done is just put a couple booklet pieces, so to speak, something a little bit bigger. You could go a little bit smaller if you wanted, or same size. Look how crooked it is. But you can just attach it so that it has this little accordion. Is this right? I don't know. Doesn't matter, right? I don't think right now. Here we go. We will look at this guy one more time here before I look at the chat, because I'm so horrified. I dare not think about anything else. You could also do a little belly band around this, which I did think of earlier. And I don't have a big enough piece, of course, but that's no problem either, because you can always add a little embellishment right there. I will show you the insides of my closet. There's nothing left that can make me embarrassed almost. Except maybe trying to get this thing out of the, you know what? There was this lady at the clinic one time, and she said she had worn a skirt all day, and by the time she got home, it was so tight on her that she couldn't get it off, so she just cut it off. Just cut right down the center of it. I feel like that right now with that bee. I just can't get him out of that bag, so I'm just going to cut him out. Freedom. Liberate the bee. It's still one of my absolute favorite bees, even if he's a little crooked. And then what should we do? We can just put that right on top of here. Just like so. Okay, so generally I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of ATG and a little bit of liquid glue. Liquid glue for stability and longevity, ATG to get it started and to hold its place. Belt and suspenders, and there we go. So there he can come off. And you think it's all falling apart. Oh, Christina's got a cold nuts. So then it opens up. And then on the inside, you have all these little squares. I have seen it with little, I have seen it with small pictures. You do have to worry about these guys that are going to be folding up. And so when you have the folding up piece, you may want to just cut a piece that is, that you cut just a little bit smaller than the square, cut it down the center, and then trim it up. And then you can also stamp on all of them just to make it have some design. Let's see, let's put that bee in a couple more squares. I don't much want to cut more paper. But this is a fun thing if you have a paper that you like both sides. Or if you have cardstock or white paper that you want to just use up and have some fun with. I am looking for, let me get a piece of scratch paper. Pretty much, that's it. Gosh, I was fighting myself. It's okay. I did practice. This was something that we did a long time ago. Oh my gosh, it was so ages ago. I remember doing this at a craft class where I was with multiple other craft teachers, and it was quite a day. It was a Christmas workshop, and we were at a National Guard armory. and a woman came in, and she was quite distraught. It was quite a day. I thought we were all going to be killed. So always lock your doors if you're ever doing an event at a public place. It was my lesson. But this is going to look fine. All's well that ends well. I think this is going to end well. I'm not so sure, but we'll see. Now I'm worried about that 10-fold card. Maybe that's not even going to work. Oh, it'll be fine. You guys just eat your scones. There we go. And now you can see the squares. You can see the 4 squares better. And then these guys are still folding. So you've got, let me see if this one's working again. So you fold in on itself, but this one folds in up. This one folds in back. And then this one folds in up. That's it. Hot dog. Be mine. But these are real cute. If you do have a little tiny, want to do a little tiny album for somebody with some pictures, or just a really fancy little fun thing that you want to give them. It wouldn't be a great thing to mail because they're kind of bulky and they're not big, and so they're bulky and big, and that doesn't make for good mail. But if you were handing it to somebody, or doing a class at the National Guard Armory for Christmas that with your doors locked, you'd be good. So you just wrap around something from the back. Some lace would be pretty, some torn sheets, anything that is thin and easy to work with. This one I taped onto the back, on the inside of the back. But you can also do it on the outside. So if you wanted to do a little elastic too, you could put some elastic on there and put it around and put some little baubles and things. You could do all sorts of things. These are very, very cute. Yeah, I like the bee. I like the bee very much. He worked out, didn't he, Christina? Yep. So let me show you now that you've seen that, how that one works. It's just the 2 that are diagonal and 2 that are plain. And I have no, I remember doing this in Fun University before, and it was like, it was real hard too. I got the numbers all wrong. Let's just see how this one's kind of big. Let's see what this does real fast. And then I can see, and I remember struggling with that. Now, I didn't think of it this afternoon, of course, when I was, and this morning and yesterday when I was thinking all this through. No, wouldn't want to have that memory. Okay, so this one, how big was this? I know what I'm doing. I'm doing this thing instead of just across. So let me see. That was it. That's a 6-inch square. So you could do it with a 6-inch pad. That's 6-inch square. That's what it is. And then that 6-inch square, I just had to think a little longer. It's going to fit in a 4 1/4. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad I got that one. And it was because I was, now maybe I'll hear myself say that. It was because I was measuring from corner to corner, instead of from edge to edge. So if I cut this at 8.5 by 4 1/4, we'll be able to have an explosion card in here. Oh my stars! And so that goes right in there, and when it's all in there, it should hide. Pretty much. Okay, so when you do add it, you can decide which one you want. Okay, now we're going to get this down. Put this guy in here so he's got his little corners all covered up. So you're right here on the edges. Close him up. Then you could do another one too, but I'm not going. No. So then close it up. That's the one. And then you've got an explosion card. And you see how I did this bottom part covers this whole section instead of just having this square. All right, all right. I made a purse out of this once too, but you can layer these and then you get really ridiculous. All right, very good. That was it. And I remember struggling with that. It's those little things that make you go crazy in life, isn't it? Okay. There we go. Explodes. Don't talk about these cards at the airport. No. Don't talk about them at the airport or any public place. It's not safe. All right, let's see if I can do the next one. We'll see. The next one is one of these cute little pinwheel things, and which we also had on for many submissions, and they were so cute. I thought, well, we should really learn how to do that because they really are super simple. And you know, you could make these into a pile of them too, couldn't you? Have a whole bunch of them in a row. Now that could be ridiculous. So what you start with, you have to start with a tower. The tower is, you can do it 5.5 inches long, and you can do it 4 1/4 inches tall. And so if for an A2 size, you can make different sizes too. Doesn't seem to be a problem. And you just score them at 1 inch marks. So this piece is 4 1/4 tall, and it's 4 1/2 wide, and it's scored at 1, 2, 3, 4. So far, that's not too hard. You can monkey with these numbers, I'm sure. I'm feeling a little sheepish, however. Okay, Brenda, you better get in your seat. You might miss me making a mistake. All right, so this is it. So you've got the 4 1/4 tall, 4 1/2 wide. You could do this 4 1/4 too, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it, but I wanted a little more glue tab. This is just a glue tab. And then you fold it on top of it. You can just fold it like that. And with this guy inside, put your glue tab in and stick some adhesive on it and close it up. And there's your tower. Not too hard. Then the next thing that you need to do to make it so that it fits into a business or a A2 size envelope is these are going to have wings coming out of them like so. And so it just keeps going around and around. But this has to fit into a 5 1/2 or 5 3/4 envelope if you want it to be an A2 size card. So I'm not going to do the math because I would let somebody else do the math. And I find it much safer that way. And she said for an A2 size card, and I will give you her address. Her name is Linda Heller. I just ran into her on YouTube. And I thought she was quite good at these cards. I didn't watch any other of hers, but I thought she was quite good at this one. And so to make an A2, the panels need to be 2 3/4 wide by 4 1/4. And 2 3/4 plus 2 3/4, mathematicians, is about 5 1/2. So then you end up with a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card. So I went ahead and cut those panels. And so I will let you see this with your own little eyes. 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And so these are just going to go on this little tower. It's the darndest thing. It really is clever. And a lot of people like the glue with this so they can wiggle it. I think that's probably just really good. And then you just move it over. Do the next one. Move it over. Do the next one. I think you could really have fun with this. On that, I will give you her that video. Whoops, 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 whoops. There we go. There's the little seam right here. And she talks about how to do a 5x7 and a 3.5x5, which is like a little note size card, which was really cute. Great for little scrap jobs. And even a slimline. And so there you have it. Folds down and fits into a regular business or like an invitation size card or envelope. Too fabulous. Then I pulled out just some scraps. I don't even know if I want to use them, but I kind of want to use them. And you can just start playing. I may just not do that. I cut up a bunch of little things from a cut apart that I'd had for a long time. So you have, when you have one little panel, you have two, one smaller, let's see how big it is, I don't know. 1 3/4, and then you have a larger panel. He's not going to fit on either, but he would fit on a closed card. So he may get the nod after all. And then if you want to, you can take these and do all the blending and painting and all that kind of stuff that you want to do beforehand. Then you wouldn't have to worry about coming in later. This would have to be cut in half and spread. That's not a problem though. But you could do it this way too. But I don't like it. It would be awkward. We've got a little guy there. I like the little guy. You could also put some just little panels of colored cardstock. What else do we have in here? We've got T-Rex running away from that. He's running away from the cactus because there's not enough room for two spiny creatures. So we'll just separate that just a little bit so it will go through the fold. This would have been good if I'd gotten something ready earlier with this, but I didn't. It's okay. Then you rotate it, just like so. I don't know. Should we put him like that? Cut him down the center? That looked like he was decapitated? Maybe. Well, okay, dude. We'll just put you as close to your head as we can. And maybe you won't feel like you're missing your head. You won't miss it much. And then you rotate it. Are there any more dinosaurs? That might have been it. Got some nice plants. Gosh, and then there's a nice little tag that you can put on that little side. I think they're just so fun. You can make them very elegant. I've seen them with ribbons and elegant kind of things too. It's not that it's all just silly. You can do anything you want. Cutosaurus. I dig dinos. How about if we put that one over here? I'm going to cut him off too. We're into my cutting pieces. I'm not used to small pieces, I guess. There we go. Maybe some stenciling on this would be good afterwards. There's some glue. Cut that one too. Oh my gosh, I am just cut crazy. Okay, that's okay though. Oops. I lost the other part. It goes right there, but I don't know. Oh, there it is. It was stuck on my scissors. Ooh, gooey. Gooey, gooey. And then you can have one little panel for a chit chat, for your little message. Could you put an explosion card on here? I don't know. It would have to be pretty small. And I don't think I'm nearly brave enough to do it tonight. Got the big glob on there. Well, what else do we have in here? Not much. Okay. And then you just play with it and keep decorating it. And it's pretty fun to be able to do. And I just think this is a fun little, really terrific little card. I'm going to pull him up. Card for just something a little different. Which is something that handmade card makers can do. Much more easily than corporate card makers can do, I think. Maybe they can do this and I don't even know it. So fearsome. It can elevate your cards. Isn't that the term? Elevate. He could be holding this. Almost. Yeah. And liquid glue and dye. Wouldn't you know? We're going to have a few words. There we go. That's better. If you don't have one of these little things, it's one of the best. Hey, Bitty Penny. You make it look so fun and easy. Were you not here at the beginning, Becky B? I was so fighting a card. Oh my gosh. It was okay though. Amazing. I'm just excited to get rid of these pieces. I've had these for a long time. So I cut them this afternoon. This is just a glue eraser and it's the best. They're usually not very expensive. And they just are gummy and they stay great. And they will save your bacon if you have big glue globs. There it is. There's the trouble right there. Because I'm doing this thing instead of doing this thing. Let's see how, there's another couple little pairs of feet. Or some stars on ours. Maybe this guy should have some stars. He needs a word or two. Let me have a word or two. Dinosaurs, keep right. I'll just use that. Well, you can decorate them any way you want. Anyway. Yes, he ordered a new microphone. Is my microphone acting bad? You could number these too. That was another thing with these, which I didn't think of until I saw these little numbers when I was cutting these out. I was going, wow, you could number these and then have them in the envelope. So you go, oh, 1, 2. So that the poor person who doesn't really understand, who's probably never seen one of these kind of cards before, and if they're like analytical, they're trying to figure out what the heck is this card, you can walk them right through it. There we go. 1, 2. Or if you had a little birthday person and you had the different numbers, if you had their new number, that's going to get in the fold. If you had their new number in the different like spellings and things, that might be kind of fun too. 1, 2, 3. This is getting bent in the corner. And then that would be the last one, 4, which I don't have a 4. So, ooh, that one's really pretty. So this is kind of a little collage-y type. Not doing any one thing on a page. I like it. It's getting better. It's getting better. That one needs some color. This one's too big, though. Well, not unless you don't, you don't cut it, it won't work. But if you cut it, cut that for the edge and then trim it off a little bit. That's better. That's more better. This could be so much fun with just a pile of scraps from an old kit when you're wrapping them up. Or if you just have a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. I like it. What do you guys think? Have you ever made them? That could fit right there. I am using so little adhesive, but it's okay. For my purposes tonight. You know, it might be kind of fun is just come in and do some, let's get out a little stencil. Just a little stencil. Not much of a stencil. Something with just a little bit of shaped, a little bit of, that we can add for a little collage-y feel. Something real, a light gray. That's too light. Light gray. Do I have I don't know that I have one that's dedicated to gray. So we'll use this. And this. Then we'll get a little collage-y feel. It won't be quite so stark. Yep, that worked. I don't know if you can see that. See how that just a little tiny? Very, very, very subtle. Somebody's sticking. No? Okay, you're good. And I did make one, and I'll show it to you in just a second. And I used different size panels, which is kind of weird, I think, but it's kind of like stuff you could surprise yourself with and maybe get some different kinds of surprises in there by using different size panels. So I'll show you that in just a second. Oops, I think I just got in the ink. Let's go from one side to the other here. You see that? Moving on, moving on. Just need to protect the next page. There's a lot you could do with this. You could spend all day not doing your housework. Just making these little cards. There we go. And we're back to the first one. I'm trying not to do on the little sticker, but I think I did. That's as soon as I said that. Soon as I said it. There we go. That ended up kind of cute. So you start with 1. I like that. You wouldn't want to add too much bulky stuff because it does fold on itself. But 1, 2, 3, 4 is the end. Or you could start with here. I don't know. Ah, geez. Anyway, those are fun. Let me show you the other one that I made this afternoon. It says Life. This one's very crunchy. It's got a lot of sanding. It's got a lot of tone on tone with a little bit of inking on there. It's got stamped on pattern paper. It's got Nuvo drop eyes. It's got shimmer noses. But it says Life's a jungle. Life with you is a barrel of card monkeys. Guess who that's for? Okay, so let's see it again. Life's, and this one has different sizes. Life's. So when you do make something with a different size, you can figure out what's going to be showing on the from the next page. So Life's. We wish you get a little bit of that, I guess, anyway. A jungle. Life is a barrel of card monkeys. And so you can see there's 2 that were short and 2 that were the regular size. And so when you close it up, let's see how big he is. He's just under 5 inches. So he's a little bit smaller because he's got 2 that are a little bit smaller. And those small panels look like they're 2 1/4 instead of 2 3/4. Right? Pretty much. Pretty much. It is fun. From all sides you get to enjoy it, unlike another card that you would just see the back or the front. Yep. So we got that. Whew, gosh. Hate it when I don't get things to work. It's so frustrating. And if you're somebody that's making a card and it gets frustrating, I totally get it. I totally get your pain right now. Look, there's some more I can add to it. Okay. Maybe some confetti. There we go. Just don't do it when you think you know what you're doing. So, but this is that. I will give you her name. Another one that I saw, the panel, the tower, they did 3/4 of an inch scoring. So it was 3, and the piece was 5 3/4, and then the end of it was the first panel. So it wrapped around. I dare not even try that one, but it wraps. This is the first panel. So you do 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, 3, and then it goes into the first panel, and it's 5 3/4, 4 1/4 tall. And like if you've been watching some of these videos, I do keep little prototypes with notes all over them. So are you ready? Are you ready? Look at this. Look at this. This card, I decided to do a few extra fun folds. And I made an acrylic envelope for it. It's gotten dirty sitting around, but I made an acrylic envelope for it to protect it. It's a 5x7 gatefold initially. Okay, so we have a 5x7 gatefold. So this is, it opens up. You could put more pockets or more fun folds in here. I ended up putting a pocket with a couple tags. And then this is where all the folding starts. Are you ready? Okay. Oh, that's how you made yours? Okay, here's one. These are each individual pieces on top of a 5x7 gatefold. And so this little fun fold. You just cut into the piece and fold it back. And then you hope that the magnet doesn't rip off like this one did. And I put little pieces of paper magnet in here to hold it shut because they weren't shutting. And I need to get my glue eraser in here, but that's one. This little guy has a fun fold because it's just folded up to reveal what's underneath, which is a little flap. And you could, there's some more glue that needs to be taken off. Gosh, I'm a mess. So there's another one. Just a little diagonal fold makes a really fun fold, which is the one I used on Friday night. Except the one I used on Friday night was itty itty bitty. I just folded it down. They don't have to be fancy. They don't have to be hateful like this thing was. Here's one. It folds up. So it's a hinge fold. See the hinge? It folds down. And then there was a little accordion inside which you could put a little message. That's almost a matchbook. And you could totally do a hinge fold into a matchbook. And I did have little paper magnets for that too. Then this one has a fun fold heart on the top, which is superfluous, but fun. And then it has a Dutch door. And so it is cut in half for 1, 2, and then inside it's got a little booklet out of scraps that were on my mask. So it has a little booklet inside, which is another way to have a fun fold. And this is called a Dutch door. It's just cut in half. You can have a Dutch, like you can have a half cut for a fun fold too, or you can close it, or you can do, there's even hidden Dutch doors. So you can start Googling all those kind of things like Dutch door, matchbook, accordion folds, hinge folds, diagonal folds. I don't know what this one's called, but I'll show you what you do. You just cut into it. Don't go all the way. You just cut into your piece and then just fold it back. And if you have a paper that has a really pretty inside, outside, backside, front side, it's a great little thing to do. You get to have a peek of both. And then that could go on a card. And then you can put something pretty right there. I don't know what I have that's pretty that I could put on there right now, but you could put something pretty right there. This isn't going to be pretty, but just for argument's sake, you could put a snowflake there. We're not going to argue though, so maybe that's the wrong word. So that's this one, and then I just piled up some hearts. This one, the second one, is just a fold, diagonal fold, which is a fun fold. In my books, I'm very easy to get along with. And then, or you could have it from the top too, I suppose. So if you wanted it like that, and then you could have another card underneath it. And it could open up like that. And that'd be pretty. That's a nice little touch too. You can also make it with a pocket. That's another way to use a fun fold that has a diagonal. It gets ridiculous. It does get super ridiculous because you can just do everything and everything and everything some more and then add another layer and do it again. Okay, so for a hinge fold, I will show that to you just basically. You have, this is a hinge fold. Oftentimes you'll see them like this, where you have, it's also called a joy fold. I think Michelle called it a joy fold. And so if you have a card and you want to have a joy fold or a hinge fold, all that means is you have something that's folding over on top of the front. You can cut this off. You can do die cuts. You can make zigzags. You can rip whatever you want. And then this guy is in here, and he's going to flop right over and be part of the design. It can be big. It can be shaped. It can be whatever you want. It could be a shaker. It could be a diagonal. It could be any of these on top of that. And then it just has a hinge. And oftentimes you go ahead and put a panel inside where you would cover up that hinge. Or, if you don't like that, you can put the hinge on the outside and then you won't see it. But then you might want to put a panel or a strip or something right there, just to make it a little more finished. And that is a hinge fold. But you can do any sizes, any sizes. There's nothing fancy or hard about this. You see that this guy just has this little hinge, and then he's got a little front piece on it. So you can make these hinges very small, or you can make them very large. A Dutch door is not hard at all either. You just are going to cut into, let's see, where do I have something I can cut with? You can just cut up to the intersection. And if you want to do it almost to the intersection, here's something else you can do for a double fun fold. Are you ready for this one? You can go up, if you want to do a Dutch door, you can go clear to the intersection. But if you want to do a Dutch door bookbinding card, yes, I said it, you can do that very thing. And when you do a Dutch door bookbinding card, you start throwing things all over your studio. And then these guys are going to bend back on themselves like that. So think if you had some really cute paper or a front door, and then on the this little piece inside for a bookbinding, which is on the wheel. A bookbinding card is just a matter of something that's going to be stuck down right there. So when you're thinking of decorating this, you might want to think right here, and right here. What could you do on something like that? You could do just a pretty piece of paper. You could do a pretty piece of lace. Here you could do a real pretty focal point and then a nice sentiment down here. You have plenty of room to do that. Now, if you would want to, you could do a hinge, a double hinge. Don't do this. But you could do a double hinge, or you could do a single hinge bookbinding Dutch door. And so that you have the hinge there. Oh my gosh. I mean, this really does get ridiculous, doesn't it? And so you have the hinge there. It opens up and you go, oh my gosh, it's a Dutch door. So then you start opening those up and you go, oh my gosh, that's just too fabulous. And then on the inside, you could even have something that's a diagonal cut inside pocket with some fabulous cards, or some little trinkets or something that are very flat and marvelous. And then you can also go, oh, and look, it's all sealed down here. It's a bookbinding card. But you could also punch holes in this and string some ribbon and do a tie, a bow, a knot, whatever you like. But you can get really silly with, and do the whole Russian doll thing with fun folds. And so just think of, two fun folds that you've learned tonight or looked into tonight, and then put them together and see if you can make a complex fun fold that has never been ever attempted in the history of man, and we'll call it yours, you know. So you could even have a small explosion card inside one of these. They'd be pretty small. Or you could have this little guy could be on top here, and he could be under here. And so you can just go and go and go and go. You could do, then you could pull this guy back and have a bit of a, I don't know what you would call that. You could bring it back here. There's just any number of things. But fun folds are nothing to be afraid of. They are just they're just taking more than just a piece of paper, folding it in half and doing something a little special to it. That's all it is. I've talked a long time. If I had done this card first, right, I wouldn't have taken so long. But let me show you these things real fast. Again, I've had you long enough because I was a doofus head. That's okay, I've been a doofus head before. Here's another way to do it. These are called explosion cards if you want to Google them. And then I add a little extra down here that looks like home plate for a house. I don't know what these are called. Explosion cards too, maybe? Explosion albums. They're super cute. You can get crazy going on them. As long as you got the outsides going, folding in, and the in forward, and the middle one folding in backwards, then it will do this. But you know, you really do need to work with your paper a little bit, and then it starts to get that memory, and it will remember what you want. You can train your paper. I should have trained mine earlier. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. I was just a little embarrassed. But I will show you my closets at this point. And then this guy opens up. He can be... so just remember, it's going to be much smaller than your paper. This was 6x6 paper, I think. No, this was a little bit smaller than 6x6 paper. And you can't really put it on something that closes, I don't think. I don't think you can have that binding too well. Well, I guess if you wanted to do something like this... But that's just kind of odd. I don't know. Maybe that's something new. I don't know. And can you do it another way? Okay, this gets ridiculous. But you could have flaps too. Okay, that's good. You put her to bed now. And so those are explosion cards that you can have a lot of fun with once you get the hang of it. And then you've got the little windmill things that are just too darn cute. And look how you can fold them down. You could do Christmas cards on or Christmas trees on this. You know, that whole concept. And do it for different rooms. I don't know. And here is the one with the dinos. You can do anything you want. And then here is the 10 folds. And we also talked about color. Holy smoker to bruise. That's a lot to cover. And then we also talked about color. So that's all wonderful. Oh my gosh. We do thank you, patrons. We do have a new microphone, so I'll get rid of my Tribble. A new microphone ordered. Apparently it's like one of the most popular microphones in the universe, and we're on a waiting list, but I'm excited for it. And we'll see how that works. We'll see. But you guys are helping us make that happen. We do have expenses, which is kind of a surprise since we use a free platform. But it's amazing how things, you know, everybody wants a little money. So if you can, everybody wants a little money, so if you can, we're here. But anyway, it does help you. We do have a lot of bonus content that we throw in there for you because we do think it's very special for you to be so kind. And we want to be a little kinder back. So the vetoing is already up. Go check it out and give us your input on what you want vetoed this week. I think I made it kind of, was there any though that was hard? Yes, there's one. There's one veto poll that I think will be tricky. The other ones I think, no, I think they're all kind of tricky. We'll see. They'll definitely see your personalities coming through. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry I was such a bonehead. I'm remembering now. Maybe third time I will never do this card again. So maybe never say never. Maybe I'm not going to put explosion card on the wheel though. That one's safe. But if you want to do an explosion card for a fun fold, which is now not on the wheel right now either, I will definitely forget the pain, just like childbirth, and I will return to the scene of my demise. Until then. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Really appreciate y'all. And we will see you Friday night when Jessica Taylor comes from Ink It Up with Jessica, I think, will be joining us at the wheel. She is sweet. She never does anything hard like this. She makes really simple, great, fast cards, and she sends them out. See, I make these ridiculously silly cards, and I keep them forever. So I don't know. There's no right way. Whatever works. Thank you all. Take care. Stay safe. And we will see you Friday. Bye-bye.